What it is, what it do. Howdy, bitch.
My name's Scooby-Doo. Welcome to Coming Up for Air,
I'm Shaggy, bitch.
an introspective podcast.
I would be Shaggy in this. I hope you know that.
I'd shag you in this. I'm Jaxon, your co-host.
I'm Brendan, your other co-host.
And it's a
day.
It's a beautiful sunny day, except it's actually nighttime. We've kind of switched over fully into a night recording schedule, so it's a little weird. I won't lie. But it's kind of convenient.
Yeah, not gonna. It is pretty convenient.
There's no cars outside usually. Kind of nice.
Traffic's really easy going.
Yeah,
makes things easy.
Let's hop into a check-in. Hope y'all are doing well.
I hope everyone's having a great day. No one's told you you're hot.
Yeah. Check yourself. Are you doing okay?
Look in the mirror. Ask yourself if you're doing okay.
Or, well, if you're driving, maybe don't do it for too long.
No. You could do. Honestly, fuck everybody else on the road. Do that shit at the same damn time.
Brennan, what you got?
Oh, I was like, I saw that shit and I was like, huh? Oh, my stupid eye.
We write our check-ins and our come-ups like 5 minutes before recording, and he forgets them almost every time.
Faded thoughts. All good things. All right, so if you played on my high school team, you know exactly what I'm talking about here. Respectfully, I don't know who watched it. I was like,
people from your high school team listen?
I have no idea if you listen to this shit, but but
they will be.
Hey, if you end up listening to this shit, then you know who I'm talking about, right? So my old coach, right? Shout out Coach Lane. He's a pretty cool dude, you know. Every time he would yell at us, right? Every time he would like quote unquote coach us, right? And we would have something to say back. He'd be like, "Bro, stop talking." He'd be like, "You guys be listening to like react," or he would be like, "You guys are listening to talk and not listening to hear."
Listen to react.
Yeah, and every time we'd fucking look at each other and be like, "What in the fuck are you talking about, bro? That makes no fucking sense."
But it does.
But at the moment, I was like,
yeah, of course. When you're the one being yelled at, you're like, "Fuck you, dude."
Yeah, my young ass. I was just like, nah, bro. He's talking some nonsense, right? He was a pastor too, so my man always like to like say shit without really saying shit, you know.
Your man walks up and he says, "Y'all ever hop in the swimming pool and it's cold at first? You dip your toe in,
you know,
and it feels uncomfortable until you hop full body in."
You could definitely tell he talked to us like he did at church. You know what I mean? And then, but it just a little bit more passion. You know?
He talked to you guys more with passion than he did at church, or he talked more passion at church?
No, I would say more passionate with us, but like in an angry way, like in a go get him. You know what I mean? At church, it's more of a like live your life, be a good person.
Is that what they say at church?
I don't know. I haven't been in God.
Jesus saves.
Shit, I wouldn't know.
Jesus got your back, homie.
Yeah, well, I'm not really into that. But if that's for you, that's for you, dog. But I didn't really get it at first, and then now, like growing up, like there's so many people who just like listen to shit just so they can like react to it and just say something right back at you. Like there's so many people out there who like they already think of the response without even hearing your full fucking sentence, ready to fire that bitch back off. You know what I mean? So at that point, they're not even listening to you, dog. And I think that shit is crazy, bro, because sometimes like I catch myself doing it, so I try and slow down sometimes and like really like genuinely hear and like make someone feel understood. And it's just crazy to me how many people are just like quick with it. You know what I mean? They're just like, "Oh yeah, yada yada, this and that." And I'm just like, "All right, bro, but did you really understand what I was trying to say?" Or like, it could be about any little thing. You know what I mean? And I don't know, it kind of blows my mind. I think I've noticed it a lot, like at work, and I think people do it subconsciously, like without even knowing, because there's just so much going on, obviously. But like when I'm trying to like slow, like today, like there was a homegirl. Cool, I'll tell you after. But there was a homegirl. And she had hella tables, and she was just mad stressed out.
I feel like I can already pick who it is.
Probably, right?
It's one of 3 people.
Yeah, bro, mad stressed out, right? And so she's like, I don't know, she's taking it out on us. I don't know, like what, like, right? So she's like asking us for a beer, blah, 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 this and that. I'm like, yeah, I got you, blah, 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 right? Someone's calling me. I don't know who. Hey, Ryan, say hi to the podcast.
What up, buddy Waddy?
Yeah.
Ryan T.
What a guy. So I was like, "Yo, before I hand you this drink, can you like chill out real quick?" And then she was like, "Bro, I'm in a rush. Can you just hand me the fucking drink?" And I was like, "You know what? Here." Right, she walked away. Even the customer kind of looked at me and was like, and then Joe looked at me and was like, And I was like, yo, she's stressing me out, dog. You know what I mean? Like, oh, bro, like you could just tell, like she was just like, she was like in her own like mode, like.
You know what the worst part about that is too? I bet all of her tables didn't like her.
Probably.
Because you can tell whenever somebody's putting that shit on.
Bro, that shit kills me, bro. I was like, can you like chill out for 4 seconds? I
If
was like,
you-
can you take a breather for me, please? Because you're stressing me out, bro.
If you actually go in with like a good mindset and you just kind of like try to go like, oh, last table didn't mean shit or whatever it is, right? Whatever your thing is. But if like you're servicing people, people can tell when you're faking that shit.
Yeah.
I don't care how damn of a like how good you think you are at like lying or being
No.
a good server. Like they can tell whenever you're putting up a front. I don't give a fuck.
Fox.
Like if you're gonna be a shithead to me and you're gonna come at me and like you clearly don't want to be here and like everybody's got their days, but like own it. Like make it part of your bit. Be like, you know, like have fun with it. Try and do something to where it like at least lightens the table up and they can tell like, oh, they're still lighthearted about like the fact that they're having a rough day or whatever.
Yeah, bro, that shit fucking killed me, bro. Because you could just tell, like, anything you kind of told her, kind of like went in one ear, out the other. And she kind of just needed what she needed for her. And I was like, bro. And it's happened on multiple occasions. Not with her, but like just like with people at like restaurant, fucking life,
Yeah.
motherfuckers.
A lot of people just listen to react.
In general, bro, like they just like.
That's what a lot of people do when they ask for advice too. They'll ask for advice and then they'll just do it because they want to react and have a defense for it.
So that way they solidify that shit in their head. Psychopaths. I'm probably one of those people.
See, everybody does it a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely do that. I definitely do that shit. Oh man.
I want to talk about leaving the old job.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, as of the day of recording this, is my last day at that place, at the coffee shop. And it's kind of bittersweet.
The coffee shop.
We've talked about it.
Yeah, that one coffee shop. Yeah.
It's kind of bittersweet, low key. But it was like one of my days. I literally had somebody come up to me and they were like, "Are you ready to go? Like, how does it feel?" And I was like,
"It was tough."
And I was like, "Yeah, I'm done. I'm done here." And this is gonna sound weird out of context because it's just like a job, but there's so much that goes into that job that you kind of pick up and that happens in it, and it kind of becomes part of your life. Not only that, but I had a lot of stuff happen in my life at the time of working there. It's kind of when I moved out on my own. It's kind of when I like started to do a lot for myself entirely. And so
it's a very big stepping stone.
Yeah.
It's a big part of that growth.
And so I was having a really hard time deciding like if I should even put in my 2 weeks and like being able to go and accept the fact that I needed to leave or whatever. But when they asked me and I kind of like took a moment, looked around the stand and like looked around and I was just like, yeah, it's my time to go. I know that it's like, even if it's not what we're doing now, like this job, it's not here anymore. It's not at that place. And you know, I'll miss some of the people. I'll miss people that I love and that I care about, and that like it'll suck not to get to see one of my best friends every day that I work. But I think all in all, it's like I'm just not there anymore. And it's kind of sucks. But also like I'm ready to go. I'm ready for what's next.
Yeah, bro, I'm hyped for you.
Life brings more.
Facts on the bigger and better things. Hell yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like that spot's always a good growing spot for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Everybody who we know who kind of ended up leaving, like after that, like anywhere from 2 to 3 year mark, like all of them are kind of like, you know, I appreciate my time here and like what it gave me. You know what I mean? Like it definitely molds you. You know what I mean? You deal with a lot of fucking shit.
You definitely do deal with a lot.
You deal with a lot of shit, you know, and
speaking of dealing with a lot, I think we should dive into our main topic.
Facts.
Which is giving too much, being kind of a pushover, being someone who just gives all the time. With this topic, we kind of want to touch on a couple things like knowing your self-worth. We want to talk about like when is too much of what you're giving, like the aspect of being selfish and just like what to kind of look out for yourself, and whenever you're someone who is a giver, like when to draw the line, kind of.
Yeah, bro, because there's a lot of, I mean, both of us are, two of those people that, like, genuinely, like, in my opinion, we are the type of givers that, like, we're 100 off for it. You know what I mean? Like, we're full throttle. Fucking, I'm gonna give you everything 110%. Like, we're definitely both the type of people that, like, genuinely, we always want what's best for our people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if there's anything that we can do to help out with that and give those people that best, like,
I think
it's without a doubt, like, no questions asked. You know what I mean?
I think let's kind of start where most of the issues usually stem from, which is knowing your self-worth. I think that's where a lot of the issues with being a giver comes from, of like, and becoming a pushover of somebody who just kind of does everything with like no.
Yeah, it could come from a lot of things, whether it be your upbringing, shit you went through as a kid, whether it be school, at home, growing up in relationships, like, around that middle school, high school area.
And to be fair, like, being a giver isn't necessarily bad. It's just like all things, an extremism of it is really bad and unhealthy.
Yeah, too much of anything is bad. You know what I mean?
But let's talk about knowing your self-worth and how to kind of identify that, how to feel that, which I think is something that you and I both have kind of struggled with a lot.
Hella.
And I think more recently you on
Fox. I mean, I'm definitely on my, like,
come up.
Yeah, I'm on my roller coaster back up type shit, because I had mine down and I went through all that shit. And I think for me, it was just more of like, I thought me being a giver and, like, I was always I'm the type of person who I'm attracted to, or I attract, like, quote unquote broken people. And it's not a bad thing, you know what I mean? But I feel like, there's a lot of people out there who feel like, they attract these people because they're meant to either.
I can fix him. I can do it. I know it.
Basically, you know what I mean? And it's like, you
born for it.
Like, you see all these fucking, these people in, like, traumatic ass situations, and you're like, you see it from an outside standpoint. And you're like, all right, like,
how did you not know this was going to happen?
Yeah, you know what I mean?
But then you're in the situation.
And it's a completely different, because
you see so much more.
Yeah, and, you're there for a lot of this shit that, like, obviously you don't tell other people.
Yeah, behind closed doors is a different story.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know, fixing people, like, that shit is so draining, and it takes so much out of you, and you're basically giving your life force for another human being so that human being can at least chill. You know what I mean? Like, now that person is now dependent on, I'll be all right if this person, says this, or I know I'm going to get this from this person, yada, yada. And people, like, whether they want to or not, but people start to get used to it. You know what I mean? And
codependency.
Yeah, because as soon as, you get codependent on certain shit, it's like, all right, I know that person's going to be there for this no matter what. You know what I mean? And then when that person pulls the rug from you,
or says, hey, I can't do this anymore.
You're like, yeah, what the fuck? You know what I mean? And people like to trip out, and it's like,
or get angry.
Yeah.
Or worse, they blame the person, or they blame themselves, but it for the wrong reason.
Yeah, or they like to victim blame, like, and I think that's a huge thing too, is when people try and, like, oh, like, you're probably getting sick of me, yada yada. You know what I learned, dog?
That's gaslighting me. Don't manipulate me.
No, bro, you know what I've learned? If anyone tells you that they don't deserve you, they're telling the truth. I promise.
But Brendan, I don't deserve you.
That's fucked up. That's real fucked up.
What are you gonna do now? We have a podcast.
The fuck am I gonna do now? I don't know. No, like, real shit, bro. If someone tells you that they don't deserve you, that's because they know that they do not deserve you. Pull out. Right there. Get out. That is your sign. That is red. That is the biggest red flag Oh, bro, that shit kills me, bro. 110%. If you ever hear that, bro, get the fuck out.
Your self-worth
Yeah.
is entirely tied to like the mindset that you have, and obviously the things that have happened to you. But I think that the more with giving, a problem you can see a lot is you reach a point where you're just constantly doing this thing, right? You're constantly giving, but you're not really like taking stock of yourself or anything like that. And so your self-worth starts to deteriorate, and just as that person becomes codependent on you in a sense become codependent on the only thing that I am worth is giving. If I'm not providing this constant service to, you know, one or two or X, Y, and Z like people, then I'm nothing. Then like there's no point in having me around, which is an issue I've struggled with a lot lately. Is the idea of like my self-worth is equated to what I provide for people, instead of it being my self-worth is
whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, whatever I want it to be, or what I bring to the table in a positive light of like people want me around because I am tall. No, because I am.
And I understand what you're also trying to say, but in my opinion, like your self-worth should never be based off of anybody else, or like based off of anything that has to do with anybody else. Because in my opinion, like, you know, my pops always told me, like, as long as you can look yourself in the mirror and as long as you can lay your head down at the end of the night and know that you did good for you, you're all right. You know why?
Yeah.
Because no one lays their head at night going, damn, I hope Jackson's okay. Damn, I hope Brendan's okay. So you know who has to do that? Fucking Jaxon and Brendan. You know what I mean?
So this is one of those things. I've heard Brendan say this like 3 times in my life, but the first time that I heard it, it fucked me up, because we were doing a pre-shift and Brendan was talking about like knowing your self-worth effectively and being like, hey, you got to make sure you look after number one, because if you don't, then nobody else will do it for you.
So who the fuck is my boy?
And so there was this moment that I had of like, he was talking about it, and I was telling my roommate about it, and my roommate was like, no, you're wrong. He was like, I've had it plenty of times where I lay down, I go to bed, and the last thing that I'm thinking about is this person. I said, maybe that is like one of the last conscious thoughts you have, like one of the last things that you are actively thinking about. But like at the end of the day, you are definitely thinking about, what do I need to do? What is next for me, and all that type of stuff.
At the end of the day, people are always looking out for their own life, what they got going on.
You have to.
Everyone has to take care of their own shit. But when you start thinking and putting your worth and all your fucking eggs, marbles, fucking balls, everything in someone else's basket, you lost the game. I lost.
Don't want you to ever put your balls in my basket.
But the eggs and all everything else can?
Maybe.
Hell yeah, brother.
If you're good.
I just keep my socks on. It's all good. All good things. But no, for real, like that shit blows my mind, dog. And it took me so long to fucking realize that. And like for me, it was like my worth is based off how good I can treat other people. And technically I'm not wrong, but also in the same sense, my worth is as good as however fucking I want it to be. Like if I wanted to be a shitty person, but in my head I could solidify and tell myself that that's all I needed. Like
that's some Hitler shit.
You know, but that's why there's shitty people out there. Cause to them, they're like, they're like, yo, I'm so confident in my, like, I love me, so fuck everybody else. I know people like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we both do.
That shit is crazy. I've tried so hard to be like that, bro. I've tried so hard.
Your self-worth obviously is very important to this conversation. Bro. And I want to kind of know, like, how do you dissect and kind of like toe the line on when like caring becomes too much and you're stopping like looking out for yourself? Like what is that line? How do you kind of tell like I probably am putting way more into this than I really should healthfully?
When you start prioritizing anybody else's happiness or anybody else's opinions over yours.
How do you tell that?
when you start doing shit and you're like, I really don't. I really.
That's just for the visual listeners.
I hate you.
Oh, right
man.
there.
Fuck.
When you start doing things for other people and putting their happiness before yours.
Oh yeah. Bro, when you start doing shit and you're like, damn, I really don't want to do this, but it'll make them happy. Don't do that shit.
Hey, my man behind the bar, Big J, that's you. I know you're watching this.
Or listening.
Either one.
Bitch.
That's for you.
But anyway, I don't know, doing shit like if you know, they ask you to I'm trying to you asked me on the spot. I'm trying to think of it, bro. Like
if they ask you to go to the grocery store for them, you don't live in the same house. And the grocery store's out of the way.
Facts, bro. That's some fuck that shit. You're caught up. You're down bad. Don't do that shit. Don't be a simp. Don't be a severe simp.
I think that we might get demonetized for that.
Actually, that's not Twitch.
Yeah.
You can say simp on YouTube.
I don't know if you can anymore.
Hold my dick.
Oh, well.
Anyway, yeah, bro, like if you're just going out of your way for said person, right? And it seems that every single time said person or people or whatever the fuck it is cannot ever return that same energy.
Or they're never happy.
Or it's never enough. You know what I mean? Like something's always going on where like you're like, damn, bro, you can't be happy for like 2 fucking seconds and just appreciate life.
Something's always wrong. Something's never right.
You know what I mean? Like
good happening.
In the nicest way possible, tell that person exactly that and go, you're literally draining. Like, and not even, you can't tell somebody that.
No, I have. I've literally looked at somebody and I said, I don't talk to this person anymore. I've literally looked at them before and Mr. Gaming knows who it is. I looked at her and I was like, is it fun to be so sad and upset about something all the time? She didn't like that I said that.
I don't think anyone would.
But she was like, no. And I was like, then why are you? I was like, do you enjoy living life like that? I think that I also said this to my ex. Not.
Yeah, I got you. I was so yeah. I know you saw my brain fucking working.
No, the worst part is that I did too. I super for a second went, oh no, how do I say this now? That was tragic.
Oh, what a moment to capture on camera.
It's been such a day.
Oh man, what a time to be alive.
Oh me, oh my. It's me and yours.
All right.
But it's even mine.
All right, yeah.
So I think I also told them, I was like, does it suck to be so sad all the time? And she was like, obviously I don't want to be. And like me and her are tight. So, or at least now we are. So I obviously things have worked out, but she was like, no, it's not what I want. And we were dating at the time. And I was just like, then fix it. I was like, don't let your life be miserable.
What are you doing, dog?
And like, I think that this is not me telling you go do this. Imagine this is what somebody takes away from. You're right. I will go tell that person that I work with every Tuesday to go fuck off.
Yeah, bro. Okay, so yeah.
I'm saying that
going about it in a respectful manner, right? You genuinely
your relationship with them is extremely important.
If you don't give a fuck about this person or their feelings, do me a favor, dog. Rip
the first one.
Hey, rip their ass a new one, dog. Go ahead, go crazy, bro. Because at the end of the day, who the fuck are you to them? You know what I mean? And that's how I kind of look at it. If someone comes in and rips me a new one, I'm gonna try and take whatever they told me into my head and get some knowledge out of it and be like, you know what, maybe there was some truth in there. But also I know in the back of my head, I'm like, yo, go fuck yourself. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, which is what I did with the first person.
yeah, like if
And
you,
the second person was the other situation, which is if you really care about that person, if you
the
really
complete opposite.
yeah, if you really care about that person, but you have a good enough relationship established to where you know you can tell them and be like, hey, can I be honest with you? And kind of come at them, but not completely sideways.
As long as you listen, bro, this is it right here, bro.
Don't.
Jackson hates this shit.
Yeah, you know why?
Jackson hates this shit. So if I tell somebody, look, respectfully, right, they can't get mad. So if I go, listen, bro, respectfully, right, keeping the, and have you seen that video? Keep this in mind, respectfully, right, respectfully. Stop being a piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like at that point, you can't be mad at me because I said it respectfully. You know what I mean?
Respectfully, my cock's going in your ass.
But I didn't say yes or no.
You can't be mad at me because I said respectfully.
Yeah, but that's more of a consent thing.
What about in your ear?
No, that's a hole. It's still a hole. There's consent for that.
I'm trying to make you holy.
Anywho, I like to respectfully is usually like my way in. You know what I mean? Before I really just rip somebody, or try and say some shit that's like. I
also want to say, I just made that comment, and I don't know if my grandma still listens to this.
Yeah.
But if you do, Marmy, I love you so much, and I'm so sorry.
Yeah, your grandson's a filthy little piece of shit.
That's not even fair. I love you so much, Marmy.
Anywho.
And I'm so sorry. When is too much? When are you giving too much to the hoes? Male and female.
I was like, that's crazy.
Or non binary. Yeah. I was really struggling for that word.
Yeah, all good things. When you're giving too much is like it's a like when you're saying yes to everything, you're giving too much, bro. When you don't know how to say no to shit, you're giving too much, bro.
Or when you do say no, they get pissed off or upset.
Yeah, or any type of booty tickle, bro. If you get booty tickled off of somebody else telling you no,
dude, what is this episode?
Do me a favor and grow the fuck up. Stop being a child. Grow up, all right? People got shit going on.
What is this episode? What is happening?
Oh, man. You know what I mean? Like, take that shit, be like, you know what? All right, cool. I'll catch you on the next one, G. All right. You know what I mean? Like,
the next what? The next flight?
No, the next time, like, you know, one of y'all need something or, like, I see you.
On the bitchin' bus?
You asked me what this episode is. You over here just spewing shit out.
Yeah. That's why this episode's wild.
Yeah, that's crazy.
My tinnitus goes crazy.
All good things. Fuck, I lost my whole train of thought here. Right?
Oh shit.
Giving too much.
This is something that we've kind of touched on, I think, in a previous episode, but we talked, and also a little bit today. But it was about giving what you receive. Like making sure that you're providing the same energy or that you're getting back what you are also providing.
Bro, this is perfect, bro. This is perfect, right? You have to, like, test the waters. You know what I mean? So, like, maybe one day, right, you're, like, giving 100%, right? And then, like, letting them know what it is. Like, yo, this is me at full throttle right here, right? And then the next day, if you give them, like, a cool 0.25%, like a cool 25 bone, you know what I mean? They're gonna, if they notice the difference, they're gonna be like, all right, bro, like, this person's hella weird. You know what I mean? But if they match the energy, like if you're giving someone 100, bro, and you can tell like they're really fucking with you, then you can kind of tell off for it. And then like if you can tell that like you start giving 25%, and if they like either question it or they like, you know, match your energy, you're like, all right, cool, this person's like on their own shit. You know what I mean? Or like even if they question it where you're like, yo, like, are you good type shit? And you'd be like, oh, I just wanted to see like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So
does that make sense to you?
In the sense that like you are kind of shifting how much you're providing that person and seeing what their response is.
Yeah.
Yes, but also like
because you got to keep walls up. You can't just give somebody 100 off rip. But then also in like the other flip side to it for me is like if you give 100 to somebody off rip, they have to show you a reason why they don't deserve it. But for me, at this point, people don't deserve that.
that's such a bitter old man way to think.
Hella, bro. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I know like anybody new or anybody who comes across in my path, like they didn't do shit to me. You know what I mean? Why not give them like I'm 100% like I'm a good human being, you know? But then also in my head, I'm also like, who the fuck is this? Why do they deserve that shit?
Because that's what you'd want.
You're right. And then I expect that shit from other people, and guess what happens? Doesn't fucking happen.
I'm gonna hate editing this episode.
Oh, because I keep putting my hands around this. Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's also because we're so fucked.
Oh yeah, but it's just gonna be great. Listen, bro. Jackson's been working 6 weeks now.
I had a day off or two.
Okay, like 6 weeks straight with like 1 or 2 days off, right? Me, I'm just a fucking crackhead 24/7, and I don't really have an excuse for that. It's been a day, dog, to be honest with you.
Yeah, mine's been a nonstop roller coaster, low key.
Yeah. How do you deal with your giving out too much? You know what I mean? How I think after try looking at it from an outside perspective, what would you tell yourself right now?
Right now?
Yeah.
You did what you needed to do. You're moving. I like it. It's shit. It sucks. You kind of have this moment in your brain hole where you are sitting there and you start to question your self-worth, or you start to really get in your head about why you're doing a lot of the things you're doing, or what's enough. Am I ever doing enough? Or like why the people around you want you around. And there comes a point where you kind of like stop and look at yourself and be like, I haven't slowed down. I haven't stopped giving to any of these people around me. And now it makes me feel like none of these people give a shit about me. Because either they haven't done anything for me, or I'm only convenient whenever they need something, or whatever it is, right? Like, it is a constant struggle. I won't lie. It's something that I deal with all the time.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to start marking it out. I was talking to my best friend,
Yeah.
I was talking to her and literally today, and she was like, I want you to know I'm proud of you and that you do a lot. She's like, and I have no idea how you keep up and do so much and still keep giving to people.
Facts.
She's like, because I'd be so bitter by now because I already am.
Yeah, bro. BJ hit that shit on the nail.
But that's
BJ
the thing.
in the gang.
That's the
So
thing
excited.
for me is I keep giving to people because I want to, not because I feel required to. But I think it took a long time to kind of break the habit of feeling like I have to. And now it's because this is what I want. This is what I feel the most fulfilled doing.
Yeah, and it always sucks because I feel like it always takes like up to a certain point for you to like really realize it, and for most people to like really kind of get to that point where they're like, all right, I'm gonna put me first. It usually takes
Getting really bad.
multiple traumatic events.
Yeah,
where you're like honestly fuck the entire human race.
Yeah, just things kind of get really rough.
You know,
and I think that I mean, we talked before the podcast. I think things have hit that point for me where I have to stop. I have to put myself first and think about, you know, what
it does eventually break down. Like that shit is unhealthy.
It is unhealthy. You reach
hella
a point where
yeah, bro.
It starts to deteriorate your body and you can't keep up.
No, real life. Like when you start pulling from your own life force, like it's a real thing, bro. Like
you say life force like we're playing Yu-Gi-Oh.
We are, dog. We are in a fucking simulator. We're in the Matrix, dog. You know what I mean?
I think you don't know what Yu-Gi-Oh is.
Bro, did you see the creator died?
What?
Yeah, like the writer, creator of Yu-Gi-Oh! He passed away at like 60, bro. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, bro. That's like my childhood, dog. I remember, yo, quick side story. When my mom was batshit crazy.
She listens to this, dude.
I know, because she's going to remember this shit. So my brother used to have like a fat deck of Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. Like my brother was like, this is my,
Big with it.
like, he's like, I'm gonna run anybody shit who steps up. Like had like 3 or 4 blue-eyed white dragons, right? My mom, right? This is when we still went to church, was all like, hallelujah. You know what I mean? My mom thought these cards had something to do with the devil because my brother was so like,
she was like D&D, like Satanic Panic?
Yeah. Like full on like, yo, like these are unhealthy for my child, right? She tossed all my man's Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards.
Do you know how much some of those would be worth nowadays?
When I tell you my brother was in a panic, lost his shit, bro. Lost it. And I still think about that shit to this day. Like she swore that shit was satanic.
Yeah. That's what Satanic Panic. That's a whole different conversation that I actually do kind of want us to talk about is Satanic Panic on like this podcast.
That shit is fucking crazy to me. And I think that shit is so funny, bro. Cause like, I don't know. Obviously it's just a card game and it was like,
yeah,
it was a cool ass show.
That's a whole different thing.
Yeah. I just thought it was funny because I thought about it. No, bro. When you have people like genuinely pulling like your whole ass fucking soul and you're putting your everything into anybody else, like it doesn't even have to be in a relationship, dog. Like I got homies that I've been trying to fix or like I've tried to fix and like help them with shit and yada yada this and that. And at the end of the day, like you can give somebody so many tools. It's the whole like you can lead a man
horse to water.
Yeah, lead a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink. You could teach a man, or you can give a man a fish, or you can teach him how to fish. Like at the end of the day, like if they want to make that difference in their life, if they want to change their shit around, like they will. You know what I mean? I did it with. You saw me when you first met me. I was a big dude. I was a very solid, large human being. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I kind of got tired of it, and I got a little heartbroken, and I said, you know what?
Don't break my heart. My achy breaky heart.
Yeah. And then, I was like, we're just going to work out a little bit and get a little, you know what I mean? And, that shit like changed my life. And, it kind of got to a point where I think a lot of people have this when they start like going to the gym, like because whether it be for like a heartbreak or like because of something else, once you go from the point where you're working out to show as like a revenge shit for somebody else and start working out because you genuinely want to look good, you're fucking solid, dude. Like when you hit that transition where you're like, I'm now working out for me and like, cause I want to look good for me, you now hit like almost like a level up, and then you start to like, all right, bro, what else can I do for me?
In the worst way possible, but also the best way possible. That's what a lot of life is like you have to realize that like at some point or another it breaks down to like what are you gaining from something, and that sounds awful. Like you shouldn't always have the mindset of like I'm gonna do this thing because I gain this. It's the whole concept of like would you do that if nobody was around?
Yeah, but it's more of a like you always see the videos, like the viral videos, like if it disturbs your peace 9 times out of 10 it's not worth it. If it disturbs your happiness 9 times out of 10, it's not fucking worth it. If you're a big person on, money, if it disturbs your money flow, your cash flow, 9 times out of 10, it probably is not worth it to you.
And there's obviously exceptions. There's things that you don't want to do that you need to do, and that are probably things that would mean a lot to some people.
Yeah, and you have those priorities, and for those set people in your group that like obviously like you said exceptions are, a certain thing. But that's why so many people have like small ass circles. Very few make the cut for those exceptions, and because they know that those people are gonna have it both ways.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, that shit it's just tough to see. Like it's always hard when it's tough when you give to somebody who you thought had your back and then that person ends up showing true colors. That's always hard to handle. I feel like that's worse than a breakup, bro. When you like lose like a homie, like that shit is tough.
I've lost quite a few friends, honestly. Like I've lost a lot of people in my life that like I thought I was close to, and then like we either, we grew up, age separated us, friendships tore us apart, like whatever it might be, we slowly drifted apart, and it sucks. It always is awful, but I think that the worst ones have always been like, this person isn't the same, and sometimes it doesn't boil down to like, oh, they just weren't showing me the real them. I mean, sometimes it's literally just like, our paths aren't connected anymore. Our path, like you just took the off ramp, and I'm still going on my path, and that's fine. Like,
I think a lot of people need to realize that if you look at your life as a book, people are meant to be chapters in your life. Some make the whole fucking story. A lot of them aren't.
A lot of them are just in a chapter.
A lot of them are just cameoing in that bitch, you know what I mean? But they are not a part of the main. They're not main characters in your storyline, how most people say it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Make sure that whenever if you are somebody who's a giver, then make sure that you're also taking that time for yourself. Make sure you're giving to yourself.
Yeah, if you got time to give somebody else, you probably got just as much time to give to yourself. And if you're not giving to yourself first, then you got to rearrange your fucking priorities.
One of my big motivators when I was younger, before I kind of started to try to level out a lot more, was understanding that, like, if I don't give to myself, it won't matter how much I give to the people around me, because then I can't give to them. And that was one of my big, like, motivators when I was younger, was like, I have to give to myself to make sure that I can keep giving.
Yeah, if you don't fill your own cup, nobody else will.
Yeah. And if you're somebody who's not really a giver, and you're somebody who's like super, like, fuck the world.
If you know your self-worth and you know kind of when to give out your energy and when not to and stuff like that, and you see somebody else who is like a giver, do your best to like give them some advice, bro, or tell them, like, you ain't got to be a dick about it, but you just be like, hey, bro, I'm gonna be honest, dog, like, you do too much for people, bro. Like, you know what I mean? And if you even point out some shit, or if you kind of notice some shit, if it's somebody who's kind of like an acquaintance or like kind of close to you, it could be a coworker, and you see them and you kind of point it out and you're like, yo, like, I've noticed you doing this, and this, but like, who does this for you? You know what I mean?
And I don't think it's always a bad thing. I think some people definitely need to be giving more than they are being selfish.
True. Yeah, there's a
balance.
Yeah, there's a line between being too selfish and then being too much of a giver. You know what I mean? And finding, there's times where people teeter-totter into each section a little bit more than the other. And I don't think that's necessarily bad, but every time you teeter into one section more, I feel like you're closer to finding like the balance in it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And like, I literally experienced the whole, like, the two extremes.
Oh yeah,
whenever
me
we
too.
started at this job.
Yeah.
Because I was on the line, literally just like sitting on Expo, and we didn't have any tickets. And I just, like, somebody had ran food out, and then somebody was like, oh, I need this drink for this table, and I was like, oh, I got you. And they're like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah. And so, like, I grabbed the glass, like, and filled like a cup, and then, like, as I was about to walk out, somebody was like, are you taking that somewhere? I was like, yeah, I'm taking it to whatever table it was. And then they were like, why? And they're like, I was just like, why not? I'm not doing anything. And they're like, you're nicer than I am. And I was like, it's literally 5 seconds.
Yeah, bro. Like, it literally took you maybe 30 seconds to fucking put some ice in a glass, put a drink in it, and then go take it to a table and be like,
that means the world to that person.
Yeah, bro, because you just helped them out with some shit, and you helped the customer 9 times out of 10. It's gonna be put on the tip and shit like that. Like, it's
not even just that, but like,
it's the smallest things that go so far, though. You know what I mean? Like, as like, you'd never know. Like you said, like, for that person, it could have meant the world. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's okay. Like, sometimes the bare minimum for people goes a long way, and it does show. But also in the same sense, like, it's so hard because it's such a fine line between like, do what you would expect somebody else to do for you. But it's also hard because 9 times out of 10, those people would never do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, how do you know when to? And sometimes you just got to fucking take a stab in the dark. Sometimes you fucking hit, and sometimes you don't.
I think I have the problem with giving of, I want to be like my grandpa. Because whenever my grandpa's funeral happened, everybody, and I'm talking like, these are people who like had like 3 interactions with him maxed. Like, so many people showed up. Packed building. And all of them were like, the one thing that is always said about my grandpa is, 1, drives a red Jeep, and 2, he's a big Red Sox fan. 3 is that he's the type of person that will ask how you're doing every time he sees you and talk to you about your problems, and he'll be gone before you even realize that you didn't ask how his day was. He's that type of giver. And I think that that's the thing that I want, is like, I strive for that. I want people to be like, Jaxon would give the shirt off his back, but I'm also trying to like balance the side of like,
yeah, and I think it's always tough because like, I don't know, older generations, like, people were shitty back then. Like, I don't know, it's always harder now because people, like, kind of like how we said it now, that like people, it's okay to try and gain something out of.
I don't know how to be capping now.
Yeah, and like people be playing so much, bro.
4D chest.
Yeah, bro, real life, bro. Like, they're trying to make so many different moves and like gain something out of it, not even give you shit out of it, and you're just trying to be a nice fucking person sometimes. You know what I mean?
Like pawn forward too.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that means, but yeah.
Rook B5.
Yeah.
I think that this has kind of been a little bit of a crazy episode, a little bit wild, a little bit more lighthearted though, definitely at times.
Good things, all good things.
But I feel like we're gonna talk in circles on certain things. So we're hitting that. We're hitting that.
If you're a good person, learn to be a little bit more selfish. If you're a selfish ass person, learn to be a little bit better human being.
Learn to give.
Find the difference, and you know which side you are on, because a little voice in your head just told you right now, hey, he's probably talking to you when you heard it. So I don't need to say anything else.
Yeah, I mean, take stock. Look at the people around you. Those people can severely affect like the type of person you are too. So who you surround yourself with can really impact that. So make sure that you either have a healthy balance, or that like those people are.
Yeah, shout out to that lady I saw, bro. We're all flowers, dog. And if we don't bloom, it's because our environment is not correct. Did you see that clip?
No.
She's talking about like plants and shit like that. She's like, yo, if a plant doesn't bloom, do you blame the plant or do you blame the soil?
I blame the plant.
You're a fucking idiot. You're 99. What's wrong? You're 99% what's wrong with this planet.
I blame the planet. Fuck that plant. I did good.
Yeah, that's crazy. Anywho, coming up for air.
Yeah, let's come up.
Aw, let's just come.
Funny enough, we're going to talk about BJ's.
Oh, facts, bro. BJ's. All right, listen, bro. Every Tuesdays and Thursdays, right? I don't know if you live in the ZDA, but or if you got BJ's in your area, right? But every Tuesday and Thursday, right? It's a restaurant. Y'all nasty ass motherfuckers. Every Tuesdays and Thursdays, they give you pizzuccis for like $3, right? And they got a whole bunch of different flavors. And I'll tell you what, so far the monkey bread over there, gas pack. Monkey bread go crazy. The salted caramel, low key went dummy.
Salted caramel is pretty good.
That shit was kind of gas. The cookies and cream for sure go stupid. You know what I mean? Honestly, I feel like all of them are probably good, dog. But like, dude, that shit, honestly, if you're ever having a bad day.
A pizzucci, by the way, for people who don't know, is a freshly baked cookie on top, with ice cream on top.
Yeah, that shit is heavenly, bro. And if you're ever having a bad day, or if you're ever just like, yo, I want to make my day like 15 times better, even if you're having a good day, especially if you're having a good day, do yourself a favor. Go get yourself a pizzucci. Doesn't have to be at BJ's because they don't sponsor us. I'm not promoting you to go to BJ's and go get a fucking pizzucci. Find your nearest spot. Go get a fucking pizzucci.
Or make them at home.
Or make them at home, but sometimes they don't come out the same. You gotta have to have the soft cookie. It's got to be a soft cookie.
You want the quick and easy, the quick and easy way to make them? There's those Toll House, also not sponsored. Fuck you.
There's the bleep house.
Little like pre-batched cookie dough.
The pre-batched
cookie dough cutouts. And they're all in little segments, and you can get them. They're like little squares, super easy to find. If you grab those, grab some baking sheets, so like individual square ones. You throw like 3 of those suckers in there, throw them in the oven, and then you'll be done. Those turn out really good. That's what I did when I was in Colorado visiting a homie.
He's fucking lying. Anywho, go get yourself a fucking pizzucci. Change your life around. Eat that shit up like a fucking cupcake, like some booty flakes. Grub that bitch up. Go home, take a nap. What do you want to talk about, little bitch?
This episode went from very fun to very hostile.
Nah, bro, we're just vibing.
I wanna talk about some old memories from being a child.
Okay.
So, I have Discord is a way to talk to people. It's kind of like Skype but more advanced, or like TeamSpeak.
If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't.
And you can name channels. So my old server is called The Basement. It's not the one that I use primarily anymore, but that's kind of where I have a lot of people in.
You look like a basement.
Wow. Well, you're about to find out why. So it's called The Basement. One, because there's a book, and two, which is the main reason, is whenever I started that Discord server, it was just like me and my direct like friends, obviously. And then we slowly added people that we met online and whatever. And then the friend groups expanded and all that shit. Yeah. But whenever I named that, it was the main friend group, which all of us used to go over to our friend's house, and we would play games in his basement.
You guys were on that 70s shows?
Yeah, so it's super rare where we live that basements exist. It's not common at all.
That's crazy.
It's just because of the soil and a whole bunch of other shit. It's not really important. So
yeah,
but he had a basement,
That's
and
lit.
we would, all of us, because we're gamers, pack our bags, like our consoles in our bags and shit, and then bring over a TV. We'd all go downstairs. There was a pool table down there. We'd put all our systems on the pool table, and then like a little side table or whatever the fuck. And we'd all plug in our shit, make their electricity bill go up for a day or two, and then
that's lit. I definitely did some shit like that.
And we literally just sit in the basement and play games all day.
Yo, it's fucking teed. We did that shit at Nick's house like all senior year.
Yeah, everybody has those type of memories of like things they used to do with friends, but it's so weird because like anytime that I think of a basement, that's what I think of. I can like perfectly recreate this room.
I think of like Stranger Things basement.
I bet most people do nowadays. But like for me, I can tell you exactly where everything is. I can pinpoint it, and I can tell you from its changes too. I could almost go through my life in the time of like the changes in that room of like where furniture was. Yeah. But like on Halloweens, we would all go trick or treating in that neighborhood because it was where the rich white people live. And so we'd go in that neighborhood, and then we'd go back down to the basement, and we'd play poker with the candy and put that up and shit.
That's
or whatever. And like, it's just all the weird memories that you kind of create, that happen. It's so weird, the stuff that you hold on to, because now basements are pivotal. Like they're in my mind. They're like this like,
yeah, it's like the weirdest shit that you would never think about.
Yeah, but like the term basement or like can bring pure joy to me, or like just nostalgia, or like this. There are those type of things, those environments or objects that you see it or you hear it, and instantly you're like, that's home. That's something.
Yeah, you get that warm fuzzy feeling.
Yeah. And I think that's crazy. We also used to play pool down there because, like I said, there was a pool table.
Yeah.
And we would watch movies. One night we allegedly torrented Cat in the Hat, the Mike Myers film. But it took about 6 hours to download because the Wi-Fi was not good for that. And so we downloaded it, and it hits 3 or 4 in the morning. And one of our roommates who just didn't sleep a whole lot, like worse than me, stayed up watching it because they downloaded it.
Yeah.
And so I come downstairs at like 7 because I wake up, and I just see them sitting there watching Cat in the Hat, laughing alone in this basement.
I'd question it.
That's some psychopath shit.
Yeah, I'd question it.
But also kind of funny.
I'd question it.
But yeah, we did a lot of fun shit there. I miss that.
A lot of nostalgic vibes.
Yeah, the basement was a good time.
Never know when it's gonna be your last.
Wow.
Like-
Really don't.
Yeah, it's like they say, like whenever the last time like you went to go hang out with
Last
all your,
online.
or even like when you, like I remember I used to go like scooter and ride bikes and shit like that with all the homies in the apartment complex, and like there was just one day where like slowly all the homies moved out.
Yeah,
You
or
know what
like
I mean?
you it's the whole concept of like you never know when the good times are gone.
Gotta appreciate them while they're here type shit.
Yeah, but you don't know you're in the good times. It's the same concept of like you never know when the last time that you'll really be with everybody is.
Shit is crazy.
And it kind of sucks, but it's life, you know.
That was kind of weird. Oh.
Why?
Oh man, that shit was I can't wait for him to fucking edit that.
I can.
I wonder how many times he's gonna hear that shit in his ear.
Too many. Anyway, I think that's pretty much where we're at for this episode.
Yeah, we should probably call it.
I apologize that this has been kind of a crazy episode.
But honestly, we need these episodes.
Yeah,
These episodes
it's a fun one.
yeah, love you guys. If you actually listen to like even half of this or more than half of this,
What a
you're
legend.
you're fucking amazing. I appreciate you.
This is we were recording at 3 a.m. podcast, but it wasn't.
It just feels like it.
I want to get a poll up somewhat soon-ish on some ideas that we have for bonus episodes. So if you're not already, go check out our socials at Coming Up for Air or Up for Aircast.
Yeah. It'll be up soon. We'll figure it out.
But you can find us there on
Instagram at Coming Up for Air, Twitter at Coming Up for Air, I think, or Up for Air, and then TikTok Coming Up for Aircast.
And where can they find you, B?
Killer B with 2 R's 420 on Instagram, Twitch, and Twitter.
Yeah. And you can find me at ArcU on Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube.
Oh, you can find me at TikTok at Killer B Dabs. I have to keep that one. I can't really change that.
It's all good.
Fuck it.
But otherwise, it's been a great time. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. And we'll see you next Wednesday.
I hope you get kissed on your forehead. See you later.
Papa kiss.
Mwah.